All right, so welcome back. This is question number 7 for the practice final exam. As you can see, I don't have my glasses, so I apologize if I come too close to the screen, but I can't see. So let's get that out of the way, and let's start by defining our ranges. So how do we do that? We go to the Formula tab, and once we go there, we just click on Define Name. So what do we want to define? In this case, we want to define the rebate table. So let's select the rebate, define rebate scale, click OK. And now we want to select the whole table. Here we go. Yeah, I'm gonna use the titles. I'm sure they won't interfere. So here, select the whole table. I did that by pressing Ctrl Shift and then using the arrows to select the direction in which I want to expand and select. So let's click on Define Name and let's call this Customer Table. Once we did that, let's go ahead and define the individual things. So this would be Define Name, Customer. This will be the gender. So define name, gender. This will be the age, define name, age. And this will be the annual charges. So define name, annual underscore charges. Let's use the default name. So now that we have that, we can start. So here we're going to create our calculator. And how do we do that? First, we need to use the data validation tool. And for that, let's go to data. Of course, once we're here, we can click here, data validation, click. And well, the pop is not working. Let me go ahead, data validation. There we go. So allow, click on list because we're asked to do a list of customer numbers. And then what's our source? Our source will be the customer list right here. We can also type the fine name and it will work just as well. So click OK. And if we go here, we have a list with all the customer numbers. It goes from 1 to 100. So now we know that it works. Okay, so now for gender and age and annual charges, we're going to have to use a VLOOKUP function. So let's go ahead and type equal VLOOKUP. And so we want our lookup value to be this number. The table, it would be the customer table, which is this whole table that's on the right side. And then the column index. So this is gender, and this is our table. The table has 4 columns. So gender is the second column number 2. So let's go ahead and type 2. And then the range lookup is, so what do we want? We want an exact match or an approximate match? There's not really an approximate match when dealing with gender because you have either male or female in this case, and then we want an exact match. So let's go ahead and click false. Type it in, false, close parentheses, and there we go. So customer number 5 in this case should be a male. So let's go ahead and see here. There we go. Customer number 5, it's a male. So we're going to do the same thing for age. So let's go ahead and use a VLOOKUP function, VLOOKUP. Once again, select customer, then comma, then our table array, which is the customer table. Then the index for age, in this case, would be column number 3, as you can see here on the right side. And then the range lookup, once again, we want an exact match. So type false, my bad. Close the parentheses, click enter. And lastly, for the annual charges, again, we're using a VLOOKUP function. We're gonna do this quick. Select this customer table, comma 4, comma false. Okay, so let's see. Let's do customer 1 since it's the closest one to us. Customer 1, it's a male. There we go. Age 47, and annual charges of 13,000. So as you can see, we have this part pretty much set up. Now we have to do the discount, and this is where it gets tricky, but let me show you how to do this real quick, okay? So let's take a pause. Right, so now for the discount, we're going to use the actual rebate scale, and we see here that it's a 5% for customers 55 or older, plus the discount based on annual charges. And it says here that customers who are 55 or older receive a 5% senior discount regardless of their annual charges. So it's a whole hot mess, but let me fix it for you real quick. So how we do this? I have the formula right here on my cheat sheet. So as per in the exam, we are permitted to have a cheat sheet. I'm gonna go ahead and use mine. So this is an if. So if function if for a logical test or two scenarios or just one. But if our age, which is B9, matches that operator, okay, for 55 or older, we want the formula to use the VLOOKUP function here in our annual charges, which is B11, okay. What's the table array? Well, in this case, we're using the rebate scale. So rebate scale in column number 2, which would be the discount column, since we want to figure out what discount percent they're gonna get based on their other information, comma, and we want an approximate match because we're dealing with ranges and not values. Now we're gonna do a plus 0.05 if they get the 5% discount regardless of annual charges, comma, and then VLOOKUP if it doesn't match the age that we're looking for, VLOOKUP B11, which is annual charges, using the rebate, and using column 2, and once again true. If we close this, oh, what's wrong? Friends missing an opening and closing parentheses. Oh yeah, that's true, I'm missing a parenthesis. So I think this should fix it. Okay, there we go. 3% discount for customer number 1. Now for the total discount amount, we just have to do the annual charges times the discount to figure out what's the total amount. As you can see, 399.80. If we go to our answer sheet, we should see in question number 7. Okay. Well, it seems that there's not an answer for this kind of question. I don't know if I've done anything wrong, but I'll go ahead and finish it and then check on it. And let's see what happens here. Okay, so now for part 2, what we have to do is basically follow the steps that we did on the midterm. And so for this, so let's go ahead and create the columns. First, we need to create a column that says discount percent and then discount amount. Let's go ahead and format it the same as this column. So let me move this bar over here and then copy the format of this and paste it over here. Okay, let's fix this. Fix this. There we go. This one, we don't need that one, so let's go ahead and clear it. And so now we're going to use an if function again. Let me look at my cheat sheet and I will be back with you guys. Okay, so now that we have that, we basically have to use the same formula that we used before. So once again, I'm gonna put it right here so I can look it up. And so the formula for discount percent is if we're going to use an if function, h in this case here is bigger than equal than 55. I want you to use the VLOOKUP function. And where do I want it to look? Here in the annual charges based in itself on the rebate scale, and column 2, and then once again true. We're gonna add that 0.5, comma, once again if false, I want you to use the VLOOKUP function to look once again here, basing yourself in the rebate scale in the column 2, and then true. And I'm missing a parenthesis one more time, sorry for that. And we can go ahead and fill this. Here we have all the percentages. If you want to, this is optional, you can go ahead and click percentage. There you go. For the discount amount, all we have to do is just click here, annual charges times the discount. And since we didn't anchor it, we can go ahead and, oh my God, Jesus. We can go ahead and double click this and it will give you the answer. So now we just have to fill out this too little. So we have to do the number of customers, female, male, countif, using SUMIF and countif functions. So let's go ahead and fill this out real quick so we can finish. So what you need to do here, fairly simple, is just use COUNTIF once again and SUMIF functions. So let's go ahead and do COUNTIF. In this case, we want the number of customers that are female. So gender, comma, female, and we want it to close right there. So 51 customers that are female, and now let's do the same for males. So Control copy, Control V. If we go here, we change this to male. Should give us the male customers. Okay. Now for the annual charges, we want to use a SUMIF function. So the gender is the range. The criteria is that they are female. So, God damn it. Okay, we can use this as criteria. You can click that, and then we want the annual charges. SUMIF, gender. Oops. My bad. I apologize for that. Gender, male, annual charges, enter. And there we go. Okay, so now for the total discount amount, all we have to do is once again use SUMIF, gender, female, and then the sum range would be the discount amount, which we haven't defined yet, but we can just do that. And let's go ahead and close the parentheses. And since this is too much to type, let's just go ahead and copy and paste it. I'll just change this to Okay, that's weird. Okay, so I'm gonna just do it manually. You know why? You know what? It doesn't matter. Gender, male. Discount amount, parentheses, close. Okay, and finally, the over total discount amount percentage is equals to this plus this. Now we have finished the exercise. I don't know why, but I checked this. It says 0%, but because this is messed up, it's not working as it should. I'm gonna contact the professor, but it's done correctly. I can tell. The numbers make sense. The list is well done. The gender as well. So that's it for the tutorials. I'm gonna do one last tutorial and we'll be ready for the exam.